Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so I did a video earlier taking a look at the My banner unit, and now we are going to take a look at Zamasu. Jumping in here to the anniversary event so we can actually fight a super class enemy. We're going to go ahead and fight the gods. I feel like that makes sense, right? Saiyan's imitating the gods, irritating Zamasu. So let's see. Damn, that is a clean close-up. Oh, that looks really, really good. So, Zamasu is in a bit of a weird spot, right? Because he's going to be at his best when fighting superclass enemies, which there aren't exactly a ton of in the game at the moment in terms of the most difficult content. Now, one thing I did find really interesting is he doesn't link very well with the Fusion Zamasu. They have two links, Godly Power and Fierce Battle, which is interesting. One of his best link partners is the Gowasu and Zamasu, who are going to get an easy A, so that could be interesting for the future. But this guy, he raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage, and lowers attack on his super. He gets the entrance animation if there is a super class enemy, which gives him attack and defense 50% and chance to dodge 20% for the rest of the battle, on top of obviously everything else that he does, which is attack and defense 150, additional attack and defense 50, and chance to dodge 30% when performing a super. So it's kind of like but he's getting dodge instead of damage reduction. So with his intro animation, after he has super attacked, he's going to have 50% chance to dodge. He builds up key and additional attack and defense at the start of each turn if there is a super class enemy. And then he gives extreme class allies 30% attack and defense, additional 20% and 10% crit chance for Future Saga. So again, very much like and then he also gives Future Saga allies key 2 for 2 turns after evading an attack. Now that is going to be pretty useful for these Zamasus, because with them not sharing a ton of great links, it means like if he dodges in this middle slot, then the Zamasu at the end is going to get extra key, which obviously will be pretty useful. So we'll go ahead and do this. I mean, I think because Zamasu is pretty good at getting key anyway. So, I mean, yeah, there's no instance where we could miss the super. But let's just see it in action just to show it working, right? So we'll do this, which is only 16 key for the Zamasu at the end. But as long as the physical Zamasu does dodge in the middle, then we are going to get the 18 key super for the Fusion Zamasu at the end. So we'll see how this plays out here. Now, obviously, he builds up over the turns, so we'll see. We'll check in at the beginning of each subsequent turn with him here and see what he is building up to. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The problem with these anniversary battle events is that they're not like super long. So with how good like Fusion Zamasu is, I feel like the run is not exactly going to take a ridiculous amount of time, right? I mean, with the 2 Zamasus being on the first turn, we might actually just beat this first phase, I should say, in this 1 turn. I think his super attack animation is very cool, though. It's kind of like the bait and switch counter. There's an additional, there's the dodge, and there you go. You see Fusion Zamasu at the end, up to 18 key. And now we do the 18 key super. So now he did take damage from that second attack that he took, which is a little bit unfortunate. I feel like this guy, much more so than the like this guy is going to really need dupes if you want him to pop off. Because yeah, like the problem is, again, that's going to come back to quite significantly with this guy, as we've already mentioned, is like, where's all the tough superclass content? Like, I'll probably throw him on the team for one of the runs to see just how good or bad he will be. But like, imagine taking this guy against Sin or Omega if you're on JP. Like, yeah, he's got type advantage in the final phase, I guess, against Omega, but he's not getting the build up at the start of the turn. He doesn't get his intro animation, so he doesn't get the extra dodge and like the extra stats. So he's definitely a unit that is built for superclass enemies, so much so that when you're not facing superclass enemies, then he's just gonna kind of suck, which feels bad, right? Like, so let's see, what is he looking at here? So we've got the 2 links again. So we've got an extra buff, so we're up to 193k, because remember, he's getting 50% each turn up to 200. while there is a superclass enemy. So that's interesting as well, because I guess if you did something like Infinite Dragon Ball History and you fought a superclass enemy, and then when he comes around on the next rotation you're against an extreme class enemy, then he doesn't get that buff on that turn, so he doesn't get that stack up as part of his passive, which means it takes longer to get him to build up fully, which is interesting. In fact, let's actually just not get the 18 key super with you, just because then it's slowing things down a little bit, and then we can grab those int orbs here for you. And of course, if physical Zamasu does get his dodge in the middle, then it means we're going to get full 24 key for int Zamasu at the end. So I mean, I could see this guy being kind of okay, but so many extreme units have suffered from this problem over the last year, where they keep giving them some kind of restriction, and I mean this guy's heavily restricted, for fighting superclass enemies, but then we're just not really getting any relevant content. Like, this was cool event, right, for the anniversary, but like a lot of these units came out after that for JP, the units like Turles, then obviously this guy, and you know, we thought when the future red zone was announced, maybe it would be a mix of the two, and then straight away, as soon as we got the translation of the actual event teaser, it says, you know, foes that stood before Goku and friends, so they're just all going to be extreme. But yeah, I mean, look at that, him taking 150k from a normal is a little bit disappointing, especially considering this is on like a second appearance, right? So he's got an extra attack and defense build up from his passive. We obviously, I do want to get a turn where he has a support unit in slot 3. We did float off Rose on the earlier rotation, so I need to stop bringing Piccolo Jr. on these runs on Zamasu's team, but I feel like he's one of the better options for Zamasu's team. This is why we really need, I think I mentioned it in yesterday's video as well, but we really need the AGL Zamasu EZA to be really, really good, because then obviously he takes a spot on this team for free. I'm just going to grab, no, I don't even want to get super attacks here, because we don't care about seeing Piccolo Jr. attacking. We are at least going to, I was going to say, if they super attack, which they now have done straight away, we are at least going to cancel out any possible future supers from them by doing this, which is good. But yeah, and obviously we're on no sort of clock here. We're not trying to beat the actual missions for the event, so beating it in any number of turns isn't important. I just wanted to be able to show this Zamasu against the superclass unit. But I mean, to be honest, given his performance so far, I mean, like, this is the type of event that he's made for. Like, we're fighting a superclass enemy, and honestly, him taking 150k from that first attack that he didn't dodge on the previous turn is definitely a little bit disappointing. Now, again, he is only 55%, but I've been link leveling him, so I think his biggest problem, as I said already, is the lack of links with the other Zamasu units, because if he's going to be a unit on this team, just like the Mai, his main role really is that he's going to be a floating support unit that's providing key to the rotation, and then when he dodges in the third slot, key and support, when he dodges in the third slot, he's still giving key to the units on the next rotation because it's for 2 turns. So, you know, he's a floating support unit, so that's fine, but his links are just not the best, right? Like, if you're going to be having the Fusion Zamasu in slot 1, and then, like, you know, Rose and Zamasu, or one of the Goku Black units or something like that, this guy's always going to be in a position where in slot 3 he's not really got like a ton of links active, which I think is a little bit disappointing. So let's see, you guys still have your guard and need to get some more build up, so let's put you in slot 1 actually. So we'll do this, and then do this, grab the int for you. We know that they can't super because they supered during the Piccolo Giant transformation, so this gives us the perfect opportunity here to get Rose and Goku Black built up without worrying about them eating a slot 1 super attack. So, I mean, these guys, I've used them a few times now on a couple of different things. I need to make a video solely focused on them because they definitely have made a bit of a comeback here. Like, we needed them to have a really good, strong 200% team. And as long as you get them to get their hits in on those first couple of turns where they have their guard. I've seen screenshots of them with like 1,000,000 defense, right? And then on this team, you know, they combine them with the power of the Fusion Zamasu as well. And then this team is absolutely tearing through some of these events, which is really cool. So obviously I'm still hoping that one of the part 2 units is going to be a new Goku Black. We can still get EZAs for like the int base form transforming Goku Black, so we could definitely get yet more buffs for this team that will help out some of these guys. But all right, so let's do this. Shall we transform them? So we've got another buff now, and we've got the support from Rose. So now we have 236k. We are going to get, obviously, the extra on super. And then we get the... We're not going to get... We need, what, one more turn to him for him to be fully built up from his passive? Still kind of low, right? I mean, that's the thing. Mai can kind of get away with it because she has damage reduction. Whereas Zamasu is just getting dodge. So if you're not getting lucky with those dodges, then you're potentially taking some big damage, right? So let's go ahead and do this. This actually would be a pretty good opportunity, as long as the Tech Fusion Zamasu doesn't pop off too much. Doesn't pop off too much, and he does a 14 million attack stat. I was going to say STR Rose might actually be able to get the finishing blow, but... Yeah, even with the, you know, low damage output of the physical Zamasu, yeah, we never stood a chance with Tech Zamasu going off like that. So, I mean, that is his role, though, right? Like, he's on the team to be the support for these other big units. And he is going to do that job well, at least. But, yeah, it's just kind of like, this is the event that he's made for, right? With a super class enemy, and his numbers haven't exactly been the craziest. I do come back to, again, the point that he is only 55%, so you'd have to think about, like, at Rainbow, he obviously is going to be a bit better, and considering, you know, his main defensive capability is dodge, he's giving people the extra key as when he gets, when he actually manages to get a dodge. I mean, it's almost undeniable that his best hidden potential build is going to be full dodge, and then you just put the rest in additional, so that if he does get an additional super, he at least gets a little bit of extra defense. He's one of those kind of supports. There are very few units that I like to have none of the hidden potential abilities. It's why I always liked 3 dodge back in the day, even before Truth, you know, ever mentioned it. I like my units to have the potential to do any of the hidden potential abilities, but like when it comes to support units like this guy, he's just there to buff everybody else, and then I want him to dodge all attacks. So he's not there to do damage. So his primary ability will be dodge, and then the secondary ability will be additional, not for the damage, but so that he could potentially get another raise on his defense. And so because I don't care about the damage that he does, I would actually just give him no crit, like, at all. So, but we'll see. I only pulled the 1 copy. Unlike Mai, who I did have the dupe to feed in after I recorded the 55% video, I don't actually have any dupes for this Zamasu. So, right, so we'll do this. We're going to get a nice bit of int orbs here for Piccolo Jr. So I think we could finish them off here, considering how good Zamasu is, Fusion Zamasu. And of course, just like Mai, remember, Zamasu is buffing all extreme units. He's giving that extra 20% attack and defense and extra 10% crit chance to Future Saga, but he's still giving 30% attack and defense to all extreme units. So Piccolo Jr. is getting that on this turn. The only downside, of course, is the fact that Piccolo Jr., the physical Zamasu, doesn't have big bad bosses. Now, if I wasn't doing a showcase, so I was floating this guy in slot 3, which is ideally what you should be doing, right? I would have put Piccolo Jr. in slot 1, where he would be getting big bad bosses with Fusion Zamasu, and then he's also getting that extra support on top of that. So after my summons and everything, because I'm all done summoning now, I did get my Piccolo Jr. up to 79%, because I only had him at 55 after the Golden Week celebration. So I'm very much enjoying him on this team. I mean, giant forms, super good, super useful for helping you win. They're a little bit annoying when it comes to doing showcases for the fact that you then have to waste turns doing the giant mode. But I mean, Piccolo Jr. is an absolute beast. And I mean, there you go. Zamasu, not very impressive, I have to say. I mean, if you compare the two between him and Mai, like Mai clears easily. And then, yeah, you just add in the fact that this was him in his best case scenario. So then if we start going against all the red zone bosses and stuff like that, he's going to look worse than this. So that is, I think, a little bit disappointing. But let me know what you guys think of the physical Zamasu. I mean, the art and like the super attack animation, the intro animation, those are all really cool. So it is a shame that he is restricted like that. And hopefully we do start getting some of this harder, like, super class enemy content soon, because that definitely would be nice for units like this, but I guess we'll have to see. So let me know what you guys think down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.